Hello, freshly returned from Monchique, and what a beautiful day. I'm filled with gratitude. Not too hot, not too cold. Made it in an hour and 20 minutes, which confirmed something that the inner voice was saying, that it's not the smoking that why you're getting breathless going up the hills, it's because the weather's been damp. So since we've had this nicer weather, I've managed to shave a good 20 minutes off the timing, and I can't say it's because I've been cycling up the hills, but I've not had to stop so much, not been getting quite so out of breath. Everything ran like clockwork today. Beautiful day. I did toy with, shall I go Thursday or Friday, but looking at the forecast, it's rain for tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, so I thought, well, that's it, we'll go today. Met some people that I've spoke to before, and basically went over things with them, and it's like, well, you already know how to manifest. You know how to vision. You know how to remember the future. You want to replace your car? Let's talk you through this, and let's get you that car. Start taking interactive steps. Start looking around, I don't know, car showrooms or car dealerships. Start looking at vehicles and just watch the sequence of events. Don't worry about the finances or anything. And certainly don't put worry about you've got a car with a UK plate on it in Portugal, because what do you think you're going to attract towards yourself? Where the attention goes, the energy flows. If you focus on worry, we're basically like radio, so we receive and we broadcast. It's two-way traffic. Same as the arteries and the veins. The inflow, the outflow, the breathing in, the breathing out, the ebb and the flow of the tide, all follows the same pattern. Any questions so far? Because I am asking questions. Something you could get yourself in a lot of trouble for at school if you ask too many questions when the teacher says, hands up who doesn't understand, but you soon learn to sort of go into your shell and don't ask questions, because you find yourself getting in trouble because we're not sticking to the curriculum. But I don't understand. And I will not understand, to put a legal sort of twist on that as well. And I certainly don't understand that nonsense either. So the power outage is totally unaffected here. If it wasn't for a message, I would have known nothing about it, apart from the ensuing speculation on many YouTube videos, one of which I'm guilty of as well. So I am asking questions. How many of you actually heard what I've just said there? I've deliberately repeated it. Repetition is the key. Let me say it again. I am asking questions. I am, as king, quest I on. So let's cut to the chase. What's the purpose of this video? Let's take a blueprint from the external world, the virtual reality. Let's create a virtual reality. So I'm inviting you all to join me at Stonehenge. Now, if I was to physically go there, there's the issue of, well, who's going to feed the cats? So I'm inviting you there, but there's no physical journey involved because this is all virtual. So what I'd like you to do is use your imagination. Picture yourself there. Picture yourself in the center of that circle. Now those standing stones is everybody else. What would it be like if we were all to meet there? How many of us would there be? Well, this is where you become the artist. You paint the individual picture. You create it in your mind. If you want 30 people there, picture 30 people there. It'd be nice if I was one of those 30, but no offence if not. Keep your circle of friends small. Be like Stonehenge, another architectural representation that is giving us a huge clue. So we're not going to descend physically onto Stonehenge, but let's say, I don't know, let's say 12 o'clock midday on Friday. If you can, just imagine, and we will descend upon Stonehenge. Metaphorically speaking, I think it's, don't quote me on the actual numbers here, but it's 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 13, I believe it. It's all allegory. So we are going to descend upon Stonehenge, so we're not actually all going to physically go there and all turn up en masse, but in our minds, in our imagination, we will come together. So we're creating a virtual world, an extension within this virtual world that we are told is real, which clearly is not. And let's see what fun we can have with this. Talking of fun, how many of you tried that Verdi's Annual Chorus with a teaspoon and cup, and how did it go for you? I'd love to know. Because I've spoken about that when I was at Monchique, and got quite a good reception to that. Comes back to, we are like radios, something Ken Wheeler talks about. The physical body is like the outer shell of the radio, but we are receivers and we're also transmitters. Where the energy where the attention goes, the energy will flow. So there's no big secret to this. The answers are always very simple. Vision something, you are the archer, you are the arrow, and you're seeing it through to the end, the trust. Well, what's in the middle of trust? Well, that is you. You can use the word faith, because that in some ways makes it more personal, because what is in the middle of faith? I. You'll notice it's AI is contained within that. There's no coincidences with anything, but I just wanted to share, and hopefully it comes through in a 2-dimensional sense when you're looking at a screen, but it comes through more lifelike than just 2 dimensions, and there's actually more than 4, and you'll pick up on that 5th dimension, the energy and the sort of gratitude I'm feeling today, the sort of joy I feel, and I'd like to just sort of put that out there, broadcast that out via YouTube to whoever wishes to receive it, and then I would very much appreciate it if then you could extend that, and from what you've received, you then also broadcast out that same elated, uplifted sort of feeling of gratitude. And let's see where this will go and what that does. We could call it weather manipulation, if you like, because people are as fickle and as changeable as the weather, and the change in the weather, I mean, today is beautiful blue skies and sunshine, although I'm sitting in the shade of the canopy, but I will just spin round just to prove it. There you go. Some cloud and some blue sky and beautiful sunshine, and I think it's, when I looked in the kitchen, it's about 27 or 28 degrees Celsius. So it's a nice temperature. I don't need to do anything else today. I can just sit and relax and just reflect upon how magical, without anything really spectacular happening, apart from I got what I wished for, which was the groceries, coming back, not feeling exhausted. I feel quite energized, actually. And some beautiful interactions, because this is a strange world I find myself in, where my only human interaction in the flesh is once a week when I go to Monchique. There's only maybe 6 cars come past in a day that obviously don't stop, and they can't see me if I'm sitting here from the road anyway. So my only sort of interaction, ironically, is through the Wi-Fi. That's a weird, total flip the script, I would say, from that. But yeah, I just hope this energy is coming off, and let's have some fun. Let's play with this. Let's create a virtual world in our imagination of gathering at Stonehenge. It'd be funny if you get that same mindset of taking it literally, and there is a whole group of people that all descend. Well, there will be at certain times of the year anyway. We don't even need to add to that. That will happen. That you can take that as a given. But it's not like you can even go right up to the things. You have to pay to go in, and you can't even get close to the things. So you can't get the feel of that circle. I can sort of understand partly why, because it would wear all the grass out and so on, and probably people would do like they used to do and try and hack bits off the stones and things. So, you know what the most frightening thing about this reality is? I know because I've seen it. It's the shadow of self. What that would do, what that could do, if it was allowed to, if it had a life of its own, if it was given power, if I handed myself over to my shadow side. And it could do some horrible things, but it would never be satisfied. So it remains a shadow. It can't do anything until I do something. And we're not going that way. Spoiler alert. We're staying in this neutral appreciation of the magic that I can certainly see. I can see the natural green screen, and I can see how we can paint the details on it. We can overwrite scripts, something I've done before. And I'm going to come back to the courses again, because I really want to share this with you. I wish for you to find that what you are told is impossible is actually I am possible, and find it out for yourself by experiencing it for yourself. That's what the courses that I offer are there to help you find, to unlock, because you are the gatekeeper of yourself. If you say that's not possible, that's one of your gatekeepers. It does require being open-minded. It does require of continuously testing. It follows the same blueprint as learning to walk. Are you going to give up the first time you trip over, or you fall over, or are you going to keep trying until you get it right? This is a diagnostic zone. You're here to make mistakes because we learn from mistakes. How simple is that? Despite all the doom and gloom, there's a reason for that, because power leads to corruption. It's something Silas Speaks channel talks about. You'll see this reflected in, you'll get all this legislation, and it's like, we've come up with all this legislation. What are we going to do to justify our position of power? We better come out with some more legislation. So it follows the pattern of building, starting with the truth, and then building a lie, and then to keep having to feed that lie with another one, and another one, and another one, and just look at the world of law, for example. Just take copyright. That's a big one in itself. So I can, because I have this realization and I'm living this trajectory, I've gone off, done my own thing. And I can actually play a part and say, let whoever is without sin cast the first stone. Because I can guarantee you, apart from maybe one or two people that I know of, but don't actually know personally, that are free of sin, and they would be the only ones that could make an accusation against me, because they're coming from a position that they're not committing fraud. The rest of you, whether you know it or not, are all committing fraud. That's another big topic, and it's not something I am an expert on in any shape or form. But I do know the basics of what the fraud is. It's that legal straw man. You may want to watch The Wizard of Oz again and look at these characters. Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Lion and the Tin Man. Realise that they are all one character. Dorothy is the door of thee. The others are just reflected aspects. Everything in this reality is a reflected aspect. So hopefully I'm reflecting, hopefully I have in some sort of sense become a metaphorical Great Pyramid of Giza. All the casing stones are now back in place, and I am reflecting back the light and shining out into this world in this nature oasis from this place. Because it's all virtual anyway, and it is all metaphor, it is all allegory. It's whether you can decode it. I would also recommend, shout out to True Love channel, decoding films and things. It's not a game. It is a valuable thing that helps you to recognize oneself, finding out who you truly are, finding out, what's happened? The thing just froze. That was weird. Yes, so finding out who you truly are, your true essence, and through that you will find the immeasurable power that you have within inside yourself. So don't even give a second thought about the phoenix rising, what's the next one? The nemesis object, the dark satellites, 6-year increments, 666. Don't even worry about it. You're going to marry Celeste out of this. Far more important to get the internal world right. Get those those casing stones, which is your aura. Get those back in place on yourself. Find that chief cornerstone to cap it all. There's a reason for all these sayings, you know. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there, and I hope that has inspired you. I hope that has uplifted you. I hope that has brought a bit of magic. But try the Giuseppe Verdi, which in English translates to George Green. Doesn't quite have the same effect, does it? But the Anvil Chorus. Or if not, try the section from Siegfried, where Siegfried is forging the sword, and you've got the hammer blows on the anvil in that as well. There's innumerable pieces of music, and anything with a triangle, if you can go ting 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 along with it. It's uplifting, and it doesn't cost much. Maybe take 3-4 minutes of your time. So if you're having a shit day, if you're really feeling bleh, then lift yourself out of it. Same as if you're going into a panic attack, and I know this one from experience. You focus, you go inside yourself, you focus on deep, slow breathing. The mind can't even focus on the panic attack. It kicks the sensation out. It's gone like that. Flick of a switch. But who's in control of the switch? But equally, it also opens up to a reveal of a weakness can become a strength. Because when you're in a reality where everything has to have this paper trail and accountability, and isn't that also about, on the spiritual side, personal accountability? So you've got a reflection there. But if you can master a panic attack or anxiety or something, then you can let it out as and when. There's an awful lot of people on not that great a wage who really don't want to be doing a lot of paperwork and a lot of explaining and being held accountable because something has happened, because you've gone into a panic attack, you know, or anxiety, something that's like affecting your health. Because certainly a panic attack can feel like you're drowning. You end up gasping and you're breathless, and it's not even acting. It's just being in control of that feeling. So a strength comes from a weakness, because there's always a contrast. That's something about this reality. See the contrast and be in the middle. Between the I am and the Maya is the aim. It's the only other one it can be. So where is your aim? Where has your archer fired that arrow? Is that aim of that arrow true? Are you now becoming that arrow? Are you going to hit the bullseye? Are you going to see it through to the end? Reference to Neville Goddard. See it through to the end. Remember the future. Create the outcome you wish for. Another perfect example is this roof canopy. Still got to make that alteration, but not feeling up to it today. Although, you never know, I may think, yeah, I will do it. But with the time the way it is, it's more likely another day. There's another thing as well. Set yourself up a win-win situation. So I've got the plan to do the sort of alteration or modification to the one section of the roof of the canopy. But if it's raining, I'll come up with a plan B. So no matter what the weather does, I can do this or I can do that. I can be red party, I can be blue party, because I'm playing both sides. I've got something to do when it rains, I've got something to do when it's sunshine. So not going to be brought to a grinding halt, because I've given myself flexibility. I'm able to flow like that fine line between the yin and the yang. The S, the spirit, that moves wise as serpents and yet gentle as a dove. Because what is the real answer to everything? The answer is to flip the script. Rather than your actions doing something that affects another, now you put yourself in the position of the other. How would that feel if that was done to you? From that you know the answer is whether you should do something or not. Because you have the freedom to do anything you wish to, and make as many mistakes as you wish to. But it has to be heart-centered. It's no good doing something that is malevolent. That male principle, male violent. Be no violence is benevolent. That's really the simple answer to everything. Come from the heart, and the rest will fall into place. It will descend like we can descend upon Stonehenge. So, as always, details if you wish to get in contact. Love to hear from you. Love having questions. So, are there any questions? Because I should be asking questions. And that is the theme of the courses. Asking lots of questions. That's how we learn. That's how we gain a better understanding and an ability to interact with this interactive realm in a way that is far more conducive, which is a far more conducive and beautiful experience, rather than one of fear and terror and worry. Which would you rather? I think I know which. It's not rocket science as to which one most of you are going to pick, I would have thought. Anyway, as always, unconditional love to you all.